You guys ready? All right, Coach. Can you open up with your thoughts on how practices have been going as you guys get ready for the season?
Yeah, practice has been great. It's been a lot of fun working with this group thus far. Obviously, there's been no adversity yet as far as playing time being distributed or missed shots or anything like that that's made things hard for our guys yet. But as far as guys just going out there and competing, I think they've shown a tremendous competitive spirit. I think they've shown tremendous connectivity again under the circumstances. But regardless, I think it's been a team that's been refreshing in that sense, and I think they're wired in a way that hopefully lends itself to some sustainability as things get hard, as things get challenging, as we play really good teams, starting in the non-conference, starting with our first game at Baylor. There's going to be some real challenges this year, and I think we need that. We need some connectivity. We need some mental toughness and something to rely on, and I think our guys have shown that thus far.
Coach, talk to me so far. How's it been, the new players with the returners, getting to know the new system, adjusting to these few first practices?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I think this day and age, we're no different from everybody else, right? Where there's going to be a lot of new faces. We have some new faces in our coaching hallway. We have some new faces in the locker room. And I think both parties have done a really nice job really getting acclimated to what we are trying to accomplish, right? This collective. And our new players are going a long way towards shaping what that's going to look like forging our identity. There's only 4 returners, right? So they need some help as far as forging our team identity. And I think our new guys have done a fantastic job of buying into what that looks like and trying to model what that looks like. So there's some really talented players that have come in, but I think we've brought in some high competitive character guys as well that have really bought into this team concept, and they've done a tremendous job with it so far.
And you mentioned Baylor, your first game. You're familiar with Baylor, Big 12 basketball by your time BYU. Talk to me about that first game here.
Yeah, I mean, my familiarity tells me that they're really good. I mean, like they're, playing them twice. We split with them my final year at BYU. Really, they're always going to be a really talented team. They're a really well-coached team by Coach Drew. He's obviously done a fantastic job and won a national championship there. But they have a lot of new faces. I believe they have an entirely new roster, which is, pretty close to unprecedented. So, but it's nonetheless, whether it's new guys, old guys, they're going to be really, really good at basketball. They're going to be really well-coached. They're going to play fast in transition. Look to score a lot of points and do some fun things on the offensive end. But for us, it's really that's so far down the road, right? I mean, we got Texas A&M Kingsville in a scrimmage. We got Prairie View A&M in a scrimmage before that, and then beyond the opponent piece of it. It's really just becoming the best version of ourselves day by day by day, right? It's really that process. The Baylor game is not the destination. It's really a process up until that point, and then we got some really tough games after that, right? So our season is not made or broken by that first game, and we just have so far to go as far as getting better every day that we can't look too far ahead right now.
Coach, with only 4 returners coming back from last year's team of transfers, incoming freshmen, just what do you want to see from this group this early on in the season, just gelling together, trying to forge the identity like you said earlier?
Yeah, I think very much that. I think it's finding our shared goals and all of us pulling in the same direction, right? Becoming aligned in what we are trying to accomplish. And I think once we can accomplish that just simple concept, I think we'll be on our way, right? And I think we have enough really good players. I think we have enough talent in our locker room where if we get on the same page and we start pulling in the same direction and playing off the same sheet of music, that we can accomplish some really good things, whether that's by the time we play Kingsville or whether that's the time we play Stephen F. Austin as we start conference play or Baylor, right? But, obviously we want to get that done sooner rather than later so we can hit the ground running as the season starts. But I think our guys have gone a really long way towards forging that identity. And I think the new guys, the freshmen, the returners, everybody's starting to really, truly become aligned and pull in the same direction, and that's exactly what we want.
I know your overarching goal, too, is obviously to compete for conference championships, but do you have any other, say, mini goals throughout the season that you want to see your team, hopefully check off the list as you go along?
Yeah, I mean, some of those are private, right? There's some people that we really want to beat, and not to add too much fuel to the fire on that one. But we want to win everything, right? We want to win every workout. We want to win every practice. We want to win every recovery session. So when those times to compete do roll around, that we're the best version of ourselves and get a head start on our competition. But there's some milestones, there's some markers that we place throughout the season, that we place throughout the off season, that we really chase and track our guys on. And excuse me. But some of those are individual player development things. Some of those are team concept things. And regardless, we are really, really development focused. We're really goal focused. Some are just more public and private than others.
Coach, for you to have key pieces back like Cole Agua and Marshall Testosterone, just how much does that help size-wise in the inside, knowing that you guys are playing inside the paint most of the time and trying to find that open shooter on the kick-out pass?
Yeah, those guys give us a ton of solace, right? We have a lot of confidence in all of our bigs, right? I think our center room is really, really strong, if I could steal a football term, standing in their facility. But, whether it's Mustafa Vanjov, our walk-on center from Tajikistan that played significant minutes in conference games last year, Marshall and Quo, who you mentioned as far as returners, have both started games for us last year. And then our new guy, Filip Brankovic from Serbia, who played professionally in the Netherlands. I mean, we have some high-level guys that we can really, really count on. So Filip obviously hasn't done it at this level yet, but he's somebody that we have a tremendous amount of confidence in to come in and hit the ground running as a player. He's got to get used to the speed of the game and some physicality things and things like that. But from a talent standpoint, he's really, really skilled. He can dribble, pass, and shoot, and knows how to play, and has a really good feel for the game. So the competition at that position is really fierce. I mean, competition across the board for us right now is really, really fierce, and it's really fun to watch, and it's really fun to coach. But that position in particular has been, it's been awesome. You got four guys that are going at it every single day. You got four guys that are also pulling for each other and cheering for each other, while doing everything they can to win the opportunity. And I think that brings out the best out of everybody, and hopefully it does on game night.
And the last guy I want to touch upon is Dane Christensen, one of your transfer guards. Just how has he been adapting to your style of play and knowing that he's going to become one of those guards that called at any given time he'll be one of those distributing factors?
Yeah, Dane's been great. I think Dane has gone through a real adjustment period going from junior college to this level. His path has been a little bit circuitous by UTRGV standards. It's not as circuitous by BYU standards, right? But he's somebody that went on a mission for the LDS Church to Germany for 2 years, directly out of high school in Orem, Utah. After that point, he went to Gillette Junior College out in Wyoming and had a tremendously successful season there as an honorable mention All-American. But that jump of only 1 year playing domestically after a 2-year mission and then coming and playing at this level is a significant one, and I think there was an adjustment period. But once he started to kind of get his feet wet and get his bearings a little bit, I think he's been tremendous for us. He's dealing with an ankle injury right now, but beyond that, man, I think he's shown tremendous leadership and toughness, and he's going to make shots. He's going to be able to make plays offensively. He's going to be really effective on the glass, and he adds some versatility for us that I think is really valuable as well.
Coach, you're heading into your second season as a head coach. Just tell me what experience did you learn the first go around, and I don't know if you reached out to any mentors that kind of helped you out in a sense in between first season and now in between and now going to your second season.
Yeah, I mean, going from the first to second season is huge for me personally. I try not to dwell too much on my own deal, but obviously I had to get better, right? There's a lot of blind spots that I showed last year that I wasn't good enough at, and there's some spaces where I could have done a far better job in a multitude of ways to put ourselves in a position to be more successful, whether it was roster management, whether it was game management, whether it was road environment and being better on the road, a million different things that I could have been better at, and obviously that's been under a massive microscope personally for me in this offseason on how I can improve and how I can develop. I'd like to think that I've gone a long way towards remedying a lot of those things that ailed us last year. That remains to be seen a little bit, but a ton of hard work has gone into my own kind of self-reflection and figuring out the mistakes that I made so I can improve. But beyond that, man, I make it about the group, right? I'm going to fight like crazy to be the best version of myself, but more than anything, it's making everybody else around me better and continuing to do it that way.
And also, just describe to me just the team conditioning, how has it been improving overall throughout practice?
It's been okay. It's been all right. We've had some ups and downs with the conditioning. I think it's such a unique environment, and we're no different, right? I'm not trying to complain or do anything like that, where everybody's dealing with the same thing. But with the transfer thing being what it is, guys have a lot more time off over the off season where they don't necessarily have a school. So from the time they enter the transfer portal to the time they actually arrive at the new school's campus, that's a pretty big window where they're not doing much, right? So there's a lot for us to kind of reclaim some ground from a conditioning standpoint and get them back into a healthy space and do it in a healthy way, right, where you're not putting too much on their plate physically too soon and risk injury. But yeah, there's so much ground to cover where you have to get them back in shape and be able to compete at a high level without hurting themselves, which is important. But for us, we play fast, we play really hard, we play really physically. There's a lot of demands on our players as individuals and as a team for us to be in great shape. Really be in great shape. And Lucas Monroe, our strength and conditioning coach, does a tremendous job. Stephen Krause, our athletic trainer, does a tremendous job of keeping those guys healthy, keeping those guys safe, while really fighting for them to be in unbelievable shape, right? Strength and conditioning wise, health and recovery wise, both those guys do a fantastic job with that. And our guys have really committed to the process as well. And I think we're pretty close to where we want to be.
Coach, whenever you have that much roster turnaround, how much are you balancing the guys, their strengths to your, system, but also, trying to fit in your system to their strengths? Because as you said, they don't have time to, acclimate. They kind of got to get right in there.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think going from last year's roster to this, it's not going to look exactly the same, right? And as last year went on, we had some drastic changes in our roster where we ended up with 7.5 scholarship players toward the end of the season. So things looked a little different at the end of the season. But this year will look a little bit different, and we'll tweak that, and I'll adjust, right? I think, this year we really focused on bringing in really high character kids that can play and do it the right way and wanted to compete and wanted to do it together. And we're really focused on winning. And I think we can take that raw material and we can kind of shape and mold what we do to their skill set and then put them in positions to be successful. So I think it's a little bit of a give and take, right? We got to get guys really good at the things that we typically do. And then myself especially, has to do a better job of formulating our plans to shape our guys' skill sets. So it's a little bit of a in-between and a give and take, and hopefully we strike the right balance.
Coach, I know you got to worry about scrimmages and non-conference play before you get to Southland Conference play, but just second year in the Southland Conference, kind of what are you expecting overall?
I think it's going to be better. I think it's going to be a really good conference. I think everybody has improved, on paper at least. I think you look at the league and just some of these rosters that they're putting out there, and some of the talent that's joined this league, and new coaches that have joined this league that I think are really, really good. And I think you're going to see some tremendous. And then you look at also the way the conference schedule is broken down, and how there's no breaks, there's no buys. It's a bear, right? It's a big undertaking for anybody, and I think it's going to demand depth. I think it's going to demand some mental fortitude and some resilience and some grit. And hopefully we've built enough of that to be really, really successful in this thing. But I think the conference as a whole is really going to be hard, and I think it's going to beat a lot of people in the non-con. And I think it's going to be ranked really highly again in KenPom, just like it was last year, where I think it was the best year in KenPom's rankings. So it's only getting better, and it's fun. You know what I'm saying? It's fun to play 2 games a week every single week, and just know that you're going to war every single time, and it's your best against our best, and we'll see what happens.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. See you this year.